Here we are. Another month, a little bit more, and another video game. Colin, Super, Darth, Holden, Chris, Mr. First. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir.
This month
Hello.
we are here for Mystical Ninja
Start
Legend
over.
of the. Sorry, okay, clap.
Outtakes.
All right,
Outtakes.
everybody, thanks for joining me. No, we're here to talk about the Legend of the Mystical Ninja, Super Nintendo Bangor. It was released in 1992, so I was, let's see, it was July 7th. I think it says.
This was right around Super Castlevania time too. I just looked that up.
This is
Kinda
another Konami
noteworthy.
joint.
Yeah.
So
Back when Konami was good.
we're kind of Konamiing it up.
Contra 3 as well, and Gradius had come out. Gradius 3 came out near the start of the.
Yeah, crazy.
What if we're gonna have anything else to say about Gradius?
True. Yeah.
Hint, hint.
Kind of like Galaga.
Okay, so it was kind of fucking me up when we got this game. I kept saying, "Isn't the name like Goemon, Legend of the Mystical Ninja?" So I found out the reason I thought that is because it's called Ganbare Goemon in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah.
way better. Sequel also called Goemon or something like
So
that.
it's confusing. Go ahead, Holden.
Oh, I thought you were just confusing with the N64 game that came out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's confusing is like this is the first like game in the series, Legend of the Mystical Ninja. So it was called Ganbare Goemon. And this was the first Western release. But there were two sequels on the Super Famicom called Ganbare Goemon 2 and you name it, Ganbare Goemon 3. And that one's called the third one, oh my god. Shishi Yuro Kube no Karakuri Manji Katame is the name of the third game.
That's pretty good.
I'm offended at your pronunciation.
Thank you, thank you. So this game actually had two sequels on the Super Nintendo that we never saw.
We never localized.
There were predecessors too on Famicom.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It says the first video game in the Japanese series Ganbare Goemon. So maybe
Released
there's
in the West, I thought. So
Yeah.
I thought there were like 3 Japanese games before this. I didn't do the research.
let's see.
I want to
Oh,
point
that-
out
oh.
that Danny's gameplay just now, he did not smack the woman
I had
I
that
totally-
problem.
Hey man,
every 8 times, or like first 8 times.
I'm literally a lover, not a fighter. But Chris, you are right. There is Mr. Goemon. It was an arcade game in 1986. And then there's 3 Famicom games: Ganbare Goemon, Karakuri Dochu, and then Ganbare Goemon 2. Man, these are some words. And the last
Yeah.
one for the Famicom, Ganbare Goemon Gaiden Keita Ogan Kiseru.
Wait, that one sounds really cool.
Yeah, we should play that next.
This is a very popular series in Japan. Extremely
Yes.
popular.
So after this, the US got the next games, which Holden was talking about, the Super Nintendo to the N64, and which is also what I was fucking up because the first N64 game is called Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then the sequel on the N64 is called Goemon's Great Adventure. They dropped the Mystical Ninja. He became less mystical as time went on.
Do you think that was a localization thing for us Gaijins?
Yes.
It's a good question. Yeah.
I would imagine.
It's funny.
Absolutely.
In Europe, man, these names are confusing because Europe, it started to be known as Mystical Ninja 2 starring Goemon.
What
Anyway.
a mess.
I would like to point out how fucked up this box art is. I don't
great.
like
It's a Western box art, right?
I don't like looking at his face.
Does he ever?
Well, I
really-
do, don't you?
He looks like a fucking demented Cabbage Patch Kid.
Yeah, he does. He looks.
Isn't he
What is
with
it? The
Mega
Garbage
Man
Pail
vibes?
Kids.
Yeah, Garbage Pail Kid.
Like I think that's what it looks like. It freaks me out.
It does. That's exactly what it looks like. But I mean, that was the style of at the time of Western
Yeah.
art.
Creepy.
Very creepy.
Chucky doll.
They had to try to make it less like cartoony and like anime-ish, and then the result was weird.
Yeah.
Weird
Honestly, I
weirdness.
kind of
Right,
miss
please don't.
crazy box arts.
I
Yeah.
miss box art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Now it's just protagonist back-facing cover, front-facing cover, or an explosion.
Now we're just being old people complaining.
Yeah, well, that's literally why we do this.
No, that's
Well,
just
they're-
way cooler. That's just way cooler.
They're
Thank you,
valid
Dory.
complaints.
But I would ask everybody, well, some of us, like what we were doing other than playing this game. But a lot of us were at
Dying.
Evo.
Let's
Dying.
hear about Evo.
The little Evo side sesh.
It was fun.
Yeah, Evo was a lot of fun. Evo, for those who don't know, is Evolution, the fighting game tournament. World's largest fighting game tournament?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, Nevada. Super, Colin, myself, along with Goot Wife, and Zebra. We're all hanging out together at the convention, playing some fighting games. Super, myself, and Zebra all entered. Naturally, I made it to top 64, but Super
Mhm.
took me out to make it to top 28, and Zebra won the whole thing. So we all did really good.
Zebra was the dark horse there. Nobody expected that.
Exactly, he came out of nowhere.
I didn't know that he was from the UAE. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he goes by a way different tag.
Yeah.
That's
He
cool. I
transforms
didn't
into a different person sometimes.
actually know you guys did that well. At least that sounds like really good.
I
I don't know how
can't
many
t-
participants there were.
I can't tell if Holden's beaming on me right now.
Even me, man.
Holden, I went 0-2. So did Zero.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
well, you got to participate. Sounds like it was a
Actually-
fun event.
Zebra's first opponent got DQ'd, so
Oh,
technically.
so I
he
went 0-2. Zero went
1-2.
1-2, and Super
Super-
went 3-2.
3 and 2, yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Dude,
But-
3 and 2 at Evo is super respectable,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, it was a lot of fun. There's lots of good food and lots of good friends, and
My
that's
feet
what
hurt a lot on Friday.
lots of good Rambo.
Dude, that mattress was ruining my back every single day.
Super's gonna take a hit out on that mattress.
Yeah, it was trash.
The
Dude,
offer-
Luxor is starting to get kind of fucking ghetto.
Yeah, a little bit, a little budge. But I mean, it is the definite more economical choice.
But that seems just like Vegas in general, though. I don't know.
No, it's just the Luxor.
Colin wants to stay at the Bellagio next time.
Do they? I mean, what do they do? Do
Something.
they have a pool in the room?
Probably.
Yeah, you can probably get a room with opponent. Yeah.
Sweet. Sign me up.
All right, we'll figure that out for next year.
8,000 a night.
Chris, Holden, Darth, we don't want to leave you out. What were you guys doing leading up to this month's fun?
I know Darth and we've been playing a ton of Dark and Darker. That's been the thing again lately. Playing some other DGen games like Overwatch and stuff.
The most degenerate game. Have you launched it on Steam yet? All right,
I'm sorry,
good
what?
answer.
What?
I said, have you launched it on Steam yet? It released on Steam.
Overwatch, I
did?
totally forgot about that. No, I haven't.
Good.
I didn't even know that.
I don't want anyone to see me have game time on Overwatch.
I stopped playing the game because it made me upset.
And you,
Made me I didn't have a good time. I would leave the computer and I'm more angry and more stressed out than when I got there.
I mean, that's Overwatch.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sounds like
upset.
fighting games too.
But yeah, pretty much.
Street Fighter 6 doesn't make me that way.
That's fair. That's because you're a gamer. You're a damn gamer.
It's
At
because
it.
you're good at it.
Yeah, that's because you're good at it. I freaking suck at everything. I played a lot of Baldur's Gate, is what I was playing.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
That game is sick as an AF. I'm doing a single player playthrough and a multiplayer playthrough with my boy Flute. And yeah, it's
That
been
game is wow, dude. There's some stuff in that game that children should not see.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. It's pretty raunchy, frankly.
It's
But-
like
Gonna get
Cinemax.
spoiled.
It's like Skinemax.
He's gonna get spoiled. He's getting spoiled.
Okay, I won't say anything. All I will say though is that as somebody who's like super into Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition,
Gross.
and someone who's also super into Larian games. Shut up, Dan. How do you say that? Just super into the first two Divinity Original Sins. It's really like the perfect game for me. It's probably one of the best experiences I've had with an RPG in a really long time.
I'm definitely
Cool.
excited to play it.
Sam.
Chris?
I've
I'll
been
probably
playing.
never play it.
I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 as well, a little bit. I'm only probably 13 hours in, which sounds like a lot, but for an RPG, probably not that much.
Did you play 1 and
Uh,
2, Chris?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I was in.
I really like those first two games. This one doesn't remind me much of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Honestly, it reminds me more of Dragon Age Origins and Divinity: Original Sin. But I think it's fine. I'm enjoying it so far. Hopefully get a lot of hours in this weekend. That would be nice. I also continued to lie to myself that I'm going to finish Tears of the Kingdom.
Hey, at least you have the thought.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
Holden's the only one who finished it here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll
I played it
get to
twice.
maybe within a year or something. I don't know. I bought a Sega Saturn. I was playing some Saturn.
Oh, cool.
Saturn's pretty awesome.
Did you buy a Dreamcast or did I make that up?
No, I still need to buy a Dreamcast. That's the one I still need.
You really
Don't worry about it.
You buy a Dreamcast.
No, come on.
Chris,
Get that
if, you,
capture card.
if you buy a Dreamcast, you gotta stream Seaman.
Of course.
Crazy
The,
taxi.
game, the game's amazing.
Chris
Crazy
does
guys,
Seaman.
That'd be cool.
You
No,
didn't
that's-
ask me, but I'm gonna say the games I was playing
Okay.
because nobody who cares. I was playing Dragon Quest 3, Final Fantasy 16, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Demon Souls, and some Melee.
It's a lot of games.
That is a lot of games.
He's a
Healthy variety.
A
That's
man of
why I
many
didn't-
games.
Didn't beat Mystical Ninja till today.
Really? That's awesome.
I got to.
What a segue.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good segue. I like it.
Well, now you
I
fucked it up
got
'cause-
to the last level like a week and a half ago and just like stopped there, and then went back and finished it today.
Oh, okay. That's
There you
fair.
go.
I thought you were like you're gonna be like, yeah, I was on level 2 and I just decided to wrap it up.
There's someone else who was doing that in this chat.
Everyone.
Who indeed?
Yeah, who? Let's
I
start
didn't
pointing
even start
fingers.
it till after Evo. I remember we were walking to the Excalibur, and I was like, "I'll beat it in one sitting." And Daddy was like, "Uh-huh." Yeah,
I
he
actually-
was right. He was right.
Yeah.
I completed the game under the worst conditions possible. I just got off a night shift and I thought we were gonna review it that day, so I got through like 60%, the end 60%, sleep deprived. I was like falling asleep as I beat the game. It was so,
I
it was an experience.
I didn't think it was that hard actually. I don't know if that's a take or not.
I beat it sleep deprived. So.
I
Yeah.
kind of want to hear Darf's opening thoughts on the game
Yeah.
with
I
how
agree.
Yeah, with
he
that
painted the
setup.
picture of him. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh yeah, just like bags under my eyes, just like
So I had a really good time
Playing
with
with
this game.
PlayStation 4 controller in hand.
He was gambled up to
Um,
99999 money.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you my thing. Like one caveat I will say, for the money, I won't. We can talk about that more. I probably within the last, I think the last level, the cost for things went up super high.
Mhm.
So I literally never didn't get a perfect game of Mole. So I just
Even on
started
easy?
Yeah, I always got a perfect. That's what I'm saying. Like
He's
always.
a gamer,
Oh.
dude.
Wait,
like,
even on
on
the
easy.
fast course?
No, just on the easy.
I was like,
So,
holy
like-
fuck.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
wait
no.
a sec.
Because like if you do the, I don't know, I did like a little bit of math in my head. I was like, it's not worth it to ever not get perfect. So I just went for easy every time. Because the perfect bonus I think is probably I never perfected super fast because I was like, I don't need to.
No, I completely
Anyway.
agree. You get $400 for perfecting slow, and you get like
Yeah.
230 for doing well on fast. It's like,
So yeah,
Imagine
I was
Really?
perfecting fast though.
Yeah, that's what I was. It was more like the skill challenge of it, which I failed every time because I'm a chimp. But
no, I want to see somebody do it because that shit would be nuts.
it's
I-
hard.
So it sounds like at least 3 of us did the mole game for easy money.
I did
exactly.
not.
Well, it's Darth continue.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say I started just save stating the Gamble House because I didn't want to play Mole anymore. I was bored and I was like, it's gonna make me dislike the game. So I basically just got infinite money for the last level.
That's fair.
So I just wanted to say, in terms of like, cheating, I cheated again, and I would do it
These
again.
days.
But I actually thought that the game was pretty good. There was a lot of like weird little things about it that I hadn't seen before in a game like this. I thought that the level design was overall really good, and I thought it had an interesting. It sort of like had an interesting economy to it, and I enjoyed the world, like exploring the world for the most part. Yeah, I think it was a solid platformer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you hook up your DualShock 4 to a Super Nintendo?
So I
question.
have a Super Nintendo to DualShock 4 adapter.
Oh, nice. I saw
Yeah.
they started selling those on Amazon.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, as soon as
Okay.
they released Overwatch on Steam, I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, that
I
week
mean,
went
times-
kind of dummy. Dark Cloud 3 came out. Bloodborne 2 got rumored. It was...
Wait, what?
Thank God, finally.
I know, right?
Yeah, I'd say it was solid and quirky, which I like. I think it
Yeah.
played to its benefits.
Well,
Accurate.
I'm gonna come in hot with
Let's
my
hear it.
take. This is my favorite game we've played so far.
Woo!
What the fuck?
Yeah,
No, I can see
It's-
that.
because it ticks all the checkboxes. Like it's kind of got like slight RPG elements. Like you have the shop. You can buy upgrades. You get the health upgrades in the warlock things, and just like there's so much like fine detail and care in each stage. Like even like because you have your like what do they call them, like warlock stage. Like you have your like town stage and your side-scrolling stage. Like they're all really different. And like because the one you start, and it starts at like a good progression. Like it's really basic. It's like here's a town, this is what you do, you go in the doors, and then it kind of like once you exhaust everything you can do in the first town, like your only option is to go into the first side-scrolling stage. And you're like, oh, okay. And then it's not like a super hard stage, but it like gets you used to like you jump up here and you can drop platforms, and it's like it's got a really nice like intro to it. And then it expands well from there, and just like everything, like how in the gameplay, like you spend low money, you get a shitty room. You spend a little bit more money, you get a nicer room. You spend big baller bucks, you get a suite. Like every bit of the game kind of has that detail. Like there's no
Yeah.
part that I feel like they skimped out on details.
Absolutely.
But the only thing I didn't like, major thing, I feel like maybe this is just me. I feel like the yo-yo is worse than the long pipe.
Yep.
It definitely gets you doinked sometimes.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
It has a nice like persistent hitbox, but it is slower.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Like,
sometimes with the way the screen can scroll, like when you're moving, not that you would be moving when swinging, but enemies can spawn in at weird times.
mhm.
If you could cancel it,
Yeah.
it would be better.
I just stopped using it. I just stopped using that attack completely.
Well, what sucks is that like, and this is getting into mechanics, but if you want to get hit to go back down to using the pipe or whatever, the level 2 pipe, that's fine, but you then lose your sandal buff. Level 3 sandal buff, you go down to sandal 2 buff and you're slower, and I'm like, God, it's annoying.
It's a funny video game thing on my level
Yeah.
3 sandal buff.
Hey man.
Well, it's
Yeah.
you move so fast. Like going back and comparing level 3 to none, it's like you move twice as fast. And the enemy pacing in this can be pretty fast paced, actually.
Mhm.
So being really slow sucks anyway.
It's funny you mentioned the enemy pacing, because there were definitely times when I would try to hit something and they would be quicker than me, and they'd turn
Yeah.
around and hit me, and I'd whiff and it'd nerf my weapon, and then I'd get dinked by something else, and it would just be like a spiral of agony.
Yeah. They'll definitely like as you said, a spiral. It happened quite a few times to me. Just like you're cruising, you haven't gotten hit in a few minutes, and then suddenly you got hit 4 times.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. It actually hints to that in the little like booklet. It's like if an enemy gets close to you, your HP is gonna just bottom out super
Yeah.
fast.
'Cause you don't have much iframes.
Yeah.
Many.
Colin, you
iframes.
should continue with your initial impressions.
Oh no, I was just trying to interrupt Danny.
No, I was pretty much done. Like, I just wanted to lay that out there. Like, that I think it's my favorite game that we've played, and kind of the preface.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. No, so this is the first game that I've taken very minimal notes on. I think because last time I had so many notes and it just was overwhelming, and I couldn't get my mind around all of it, even though it was all written down because I'm an idiot. But so I really enjoyed this. I don't know that I would say it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. It's not better than Croc, of course, but you know what is.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 Croc.
Yeah. 9.5, dude. Come on.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, no, my final thoughts when I beat the game today, what I did write down was this was a fun ass video game. This was just really fun. I had a great time. The music was great. I love the art. I have some few nitpicks like here and there. Like one of the things that I found to be something I didn't like, which maybe you guys did, was that as you're walking around the town, like you can see in the gameplay right now, there's like shops and little things to do as you're beating up enemies. And this is just me, but when I want those things to be separate. Like in Fact Xanadu, you would have the towns where all of that stuff was useful to you and it was all condensed into one place, and then you didn't have to deal with any enemies or whatever there. And then you left, and it's like I like the separation physically of this is where I go to do like shopping and talk to quirky NPCs and have a goofy time. And then over here is where I fight the bad guys, you know. I guess that's my monkey brain. I like that. But yeah, I found this also to be, I don't want to say it was like easy, but I definitely was just cruising until like maybe level 8 or whatever. Not saying I didn't get hit or whatever, because I certainly did, but definitely not.
Yeah, I remember around level 8 messing me up too. I can't even remember what, but yeah.
Yeah. Like, and occasionally there would be enemies that would just like, you know, a new type of enemy. Oh, this one's going to jump and you have no way to know. And so you just eat a hit here or there. But yeah, like the music was great. It was very charming.
Extremely Japanese.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wrote
Very.
that it reminded me of Shin-Chan, which is an American thing to say. But yeah.
It has the same style of like quirkiness, like
Yeah.
whimsical feeling, you know.
Yeah, it is. That's a good way to put it. It is very whimsical.
For sure. And that's it.
So, when I played this game, I was in a very bad state. I was dying, not dying. I don't want to say dying. That's insensitive. But I was stricken with COVID, and it kind of affected my not attitude but motivation.
Mhm.
You guys are here talking about all these mini games. I just said fuck all that shit. Like I walked into one door and played one mini game, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have the patience for this. I don't feel like doing this. I'm just gonna beat up enemies and farm coins. That's what I did. I found spots to farm money, and I just farmed a shit ton of money. The one thing I did do is play the Gradius minigame. And you don't win shit for that, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you don't- I was curious.
When you win the game, she's like, "Thanks for the $100."
Yeah, it's like
Buy the full
congratulations.
game.
And
Hey, but
that's
you
it.
got a video game in your game.
Yeah, but you get one
True.
level of
And you know
video.
what? It was a very like
That's
it was
cool, though.
actually like a good little version of Gradius.
Yeah,
it's really interesting
it's-
because it's not like a direct port of anything. Like it's on its separate screen with its unique art.
Yeah, it's
Very
it.
cool.
It's its own version of Gradius. Like it's not like
That's
yeah,
really
it
cool.
was it was super cool.
Gradius fucking rules.
I thought it was great, and like I spent a lot of time. Well, not a lot of time, but I sat there and played it over and over until I beat it. And I was like, all right, what do I get? And it's like congratulations. And I'm like, well, fuck you then.
And it
And
just
that's
kicks
the-
you out. You're like, yeah.
Yeah,
And then you
and that,
try to play
from-
hockey, and it's like you don't have any friends.
Well, from that point on, I just stopped doing all the little mini games. Like I saw like the footage of the whack-a-mole and that weird like snake thing. I never did that. I never did it once. And you guys are saying like, oh, you had $400 from doing it. I'm like, oh my god, I probably should have done that. But I just played it basically like I skipped all that extra stuff, but I did enjoy it a lot. One gripe I had was some of the enemies on like the overhead sections, like the town sections, were kind of just stupid. Like the guys who throw coins, like
Oh yeah,
fuck
who
those
run
guys.
faster than
Fuck
you
those
and throw a
things.
spray of coins. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, like that covers like the whole screen basically. Like
Yeah, I
Hated
just
those
actually
guys.
started when going through the towns just throwing coins every single time I was moving. So there was always something to kill those.
yeah, I
things.
stopped. Like every boss fight, I just use coins. Like it melts
Yep.
the bosses. It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
it makes the boss fights like not that hard, except for the final boss. You can't really use coins. I mean, you could, but it doesn't really make it easier. Hitting the arrows back at the
I needed coins to
dog.
win that fight. We'll save that for
Really?
another time though. Yeah.
Well, I stayed in the left corner.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of dodged the arrows a little and hit one into his face. But
I think Holden's probably talking phase 2 of that boss fight when he's off the off
Oh,
cat dog thing.
Mhm.
yeah, I just spam coins in that phase.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I forgot that coins existed for most of the game. It made some things interesting.
Normally in games where you have a money throw attack, I don't do it because I'm like, I don't know, I want to spend the money.
I need that
But
money.
like, it's cheap. Like it barely costs anything, and
You
it's
like get it
super
back for
effective.
the most part.
So what I found weird is
Exactly.
throwing it costs 4. Getting a
Yeah.
pickup is 10.
Yeah.
So you do net gold.
You can just spam it pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. And the art is really good in this game. I really enjoyed all the art, all the enemies, the player characters, the animations, the backgrounds. Super good.
I just love the use of color. Like there's so
Yeah.
much color.
Yes, it is very vibrant and lively. I agree. It's unlike Contra 3, by the way. Very dark and drab. But anyways,
Listen,
It's the apocalypse, dude.
one's a action movie, the other's a Japanese folklore video game tribute
Baby game.
baby game.
but I liked the story. Like it wasn't much of a story, but it was like cool. Like I was like invested because like at the beginning you meet like these cat ninjas and they're like adorable and one of them meows, dude.
Yeah,
One of them
he literally
fucking
meows after talking. After he
Yeah.
rubs his face and is like Super Nintendo cat meow. Like meow.
Dude, and it literally like motivated me. I was like, all right, let's fucking go. Let's do this. I'm behind. Let's go. I want to save the princess now.
They have
This
these
fucking
magical
adorable
weapons.
ninja cat.
The cat people can't transform. I gotta help them.
Exactly. Like yeah. And all of the boss fights are all really fun too.
Yeah,
they're
they're,
all like
like-
really unique and fun.
Yeah, they're like creatively designed. Like that tower,
Exactly.
so fun.
Yeah, the tower boss was really fun. The totem guy. Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. The boss fights were probably one of my biggest high points in this game. Actually, was the boss fights. And one part where I started to get annoyed was like in the towns. Like, but that's probably my fault because I wasn't taking advantage of all the different like mini games where you could win money. But I
What
like
was
the
annoying about
platforming.
the towns? Sorry.
What's that? Oh, just the enemies. Like you're running around trying to get money and like trying to buy stuff and like there's that one town where you have to buy the book and it's really expensive.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
And it's just like you're running around trying to do shit. Like, oh, you buy armor and you're like, okay, I'm ready for the side-scrolling section. And then like a guy comes out of nowhere and it's like he hits you 5 times and then you accidentally hit the lady and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
But the side-scrolling stages were super fun, especially the. I think my favorite part of the game was the like the trick ninja castle where you press the
Yeah.
switches and it rotates.
Yeah.
I thought that was so
crazy.
cool.
That shit was sick, dude. Like and platforming on those like little like clacky ball things, dude.
Oh yeah, that I
Yeah.
was gonna. That's
so much
yeah.
fun.
those
so
two.
much
Those two
fun.
things are what was lingering in my mind the most about the level.
Yeah, this and the thing about this game too, like I feel like I can't really think of anything super similar to it from its time. Like you had like games like River City Ransom on
Yeah,
the
that was
NES,
the first one I thought of. Yeah.
where like yeah, it's similar. Like you go around fighting things and you get money and you buy things in shops. But this game, like it expands upon it like greatly. Like there's so much more to offer, and then it offers the side-scrolling sections. And yeah, I really enjoyed it quite a bit. There were a few parts where I got fed up and annoyed, but like I said, it was my fault for not exploring everything. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I wouldn't say it was my favorite game we've played, but yeah, it's a great game. I want to explore the series more, actually.
Yeah, that's definitely what I came out of this with. I was like, I'm gonna check those other games out.
I watched Brian play a little bit of the 64 one, and it looked super cool.
It's super cool. It is. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my initial impression.
Some hot Gradius gameplay on the screen right now.
Oh no,
Yeah.
don't. I chose. Oh,
Right.
don't worry, I ran it back.
So
Who's next?
was this the first time a game was in a game? Not that
That's
it-
what I was curious
That's
about.
a good
Probably not,
question.
but it's the earliest I know of now.
I'm trying to think about that. No. Well, no.
As far as I know,
Because
that's like really a anomaly.
Mario 3 had the original Mario Brothers in it.
Oh yeah.
That is
There you
true.
go.
Okay.
Nice trivia, super.
Thank you.
Now, what was the longest item in this game? Was it the what is it called? The name fucking killed me. Oh
The
yeah,
not so peaceful pipe.
yeah. Kid Ying's weapon is called the not so peaceful pipe, and then the
That's
upgraded
fucking
is called
hilarious.
extended not so peaceful pipe.
I
Not
didn't
so
know that.
peaceful.
This
Pipe.
game
That's
has-
fucking great.
This game had really good humor, but it
Oh, yeah.
clearly also had really good localization too.
Yes, it did. Actually, that's a good point because a
knew
lot
this-
of games like this, like things get lost in translation.
I knew this game was gonna be fire when that cutscene played out, and it like zooms in on Kid Ying's face, and he goes
Yeah.
no close-ups, and I was like, wait, what?
That's
Uh,
another thing that I really enjoyed: the little cutscenes between
Yes.
stages.
They were fantastic.
And like the music was so good. Like it was just like I don't know how to describe it. It was like very like comforting. Like the music,
Yeah.
like it just made you feel like like I don't know. Like again, like Shinchan had the same type of music. Like it's a very Japanese thing where it's like you just feel like comfy and like at home, you know. And like you see him like Kid Ying and that dude, I forget what his name is, player 2 character. He's like stuffing his face and they're just
Dr.
hanging
Yang.
out. And
Dr.
like Kid
Yang.
Ying's fishing and like it just like oh that looks nice. Like they look like they're having a good time.
They're on an
You know
adventure.
that-
They're homies.
The transition
like
from
Little
phase
details like that I really enjoyed.
transition from level 1 to level 2. Did you guys like use save states and see the different cutscenes?
Oh,
I
the,
didn't even
you
know
get
there were
3
different
options.
cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good.
when you travel for the first time, you get 3 options, like which package.
Yeah.
Like you get package A, it's like $60. Then one's 100, one's 200. But I just did the
Mhm.
200 because I was a baller.
There, I forget what each one of them were, but I definitely checked them all out and was
How do you
tickled by all of
remember
them.
that? I was probably fucking half conscious at that
Yeah.
point. I was-
Yeah, I get it. Chris has a note in the chat that we need to hear Holden's overall thoughts.
Holden.
Oh yeah, and then we
You're
got hear yours,
awful.
Chris's, because we haven't heard yours. Yeah, I have a lot to say that I want to be vague about
Let's go.
in the name of time. So, I played this game when I was a kid on the Wii, on the eShop. I'm pretty sure. I want to say. Anyway, I don't think I played more than like 10 minutes. It didn't capture my attention at the time for whatever reason. But when this was suggested, I was thinking to myself, I remember this game had mini games and a timer, and I feel like that's gonna really conflict with the main platforming sections of the game. Like, from an idea standpoint, if someone suggested this idea on paper, I'd be like, that sounds nice, but like, I don't think it's gonna mesh well. And then I played it, and I found it meshing really well. Like, Darth was saying he was impatient and save stated, which like I think in any game with mini games and gambling, it's gonna invite that kind of play style from more modern players. But
Zoomer players.
the-
Like that.
Okay.
try to say that as respectfully as possible. The variety of the mini games is insane, and the presentation, the polish, the character of the game in general, like it absolutely exceeded my expectations. And kind of mirroring what Danny was saying, like this was my most fun game to play, and I thought it was just super good. Like the I was really surprised by the pacing, the combat, like the everything from the platforming to the combat. It doesn't teach you mechanics super well, but the mechanics are kind of magical. Like, hey, what happens if I get the Kung Fu 3 at the dojo?
The jutsus.
It's like, what's this one? Oh my god, I can fly now through the like. I don't know. It was pretty exciting for me. And yeah, I don't know. This game was just really fun. It was a really nice surprise.
That's another thing I didn't do.
don't know if I'd
Sorry.
call it. Sorry, what were you saying?
Sorry to interrupt, but that's another thing I didn't do was the dojo training. I never used a single one.
Yeah, how many are there? Like 8 special moves that you really
So
don't need.
They each have 4,
Right.
and they're kind of like the same. Like they each do the same thing, but they're different moves. Like the level 2 Kid Ying, actually, it's called Tiger Terror, and he summons this whack ass looking tiger that's kind of cool in how whack it is. I still don't know how it actually attacked because I
cool,
summoned
though.
it during a boss, but it was
Yeah.
badass, and I just got hit a bunch. I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
whereas Dr. Yang summons a cow in place of the tiger.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so they have the same moves, but they're different in like how they're presented.
Yeah, this would have been a really good one to see how multiplayer worked out, because even the mini games seem to be designed around it. Yeah, I guess that's opening thoughts. I'll talk specifics. Chris, what are your thoughts?
So this was my pick. I hadn't actually played it before, so it was a completely blind suggestion. And I kind of wanted to play it because I was looking at a list of like earlier Super Nintendo games. I've been exploring some earlier Super Nintendo games and stuff like that for Genesis as well, early in the console lifespan. And I was familiar with the reputation of the series. I guess a lot of people are big fans of it. So I had never even seen it before, I don't think. Overall, I think it is very charming, and I didn't enjoy it very much at all playing it. Maybe I was just in a very bad headspace, but every session I played it, it was pretty unenjoyable to the point where I just wanted to flush it entirely. And I didn't beat it. I got up to stage 6. And
Which one's 6?
6 is the one where you need a pass to get to the mountain.
Ah,
And
yeah.
that's all that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And
What specifically about it did you not enjoy?
So it is very disjointed. There's the half where you're walking around the town, right? And then there's all the RPG mechanics, RPG light mechanics, I guess. Back in this day, it would probably be considered RPG mechanics, because anything where you have life is basic, or like, I don't know, like games like Zelda were considered RPGs, even though they're totally not. The adventure aspect of it, I enjoyed the side-scrolling platforming sections decently enough, but like everything where you're in the town is just such a massive slog. Like I also ignored the mini games. I don't like mini games in games like Zelda. I don't engage with it at all. So any game where it's a major focus is kind of a large amount of the game is lost on me.
This guy's all
I think-
business.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, so it's definitely. I think that stuff gets in the way, because like if the game was just the side-scrolling sections and it was just a straight platform, I think I would enjoy it a lot more. That stuff gets in the way because like if you like having to grind for armor and stuff and getting coins and just having enough money to even engage with some of the systems like the magic. I didn't even understand how it worked. Like you need to have enough health to even buy the magic, and that is how it works, right? You need to have enough health.
You need to have enough health and money, like because it technically takes your stamina to do the training, so it takes your
Yeah.
health bar.
Right. Yeah. And it's super expensive, and I didn't even like all that I ever saw was the tiger, and like I'm sure there's one point in particular where the flying would have been super helpful for me, because this level that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I think I
This-
used it on this one.
Yeah, this is the one that made me want to just not play the game at all. It's that platforming where you're climbing up vertically.
That
It's,
part where
Oh,
Danny tries to hop on the
fun.
spike thing and he just died.
I did that too.
I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah.
I actually have a
definitely died
note
there.
that I wrote down that I said, I bet everyone tried to jump on that spike.
Yeah, dude.
That's funny.
yeah, I did that.
I did the exact same thing.
I was like, ooh,
But-
platform, oink. And I was like, well,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did that, and in the area following where you're going up vertically up those rotating things, I think that's some of the worst platforming in any platformer I've ever
oh,
played.
that's
Really?
funny
It's
because
so
I thought that was a
aggravating.
super neat mechanic.
It's
I enjoyed it a lot.
so frustrating.
I thought the controls were like really tight.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's one thing I'll mention is I think the controls are actually really good in this game. There's a lot of junk 16-bit platformers, and a lot of them just get the fundamentals of movement wrong. It's back in the era where it's like the only thing that matters is big sprites to a lot of game developers, and Konami gets it right here. Like it feels
Yes.
good to like attack and jump at the same time and stuff, and they always have with Castlevania and stuff like that. But Like I was watching Computer Chronicles or some show from like '89 or whatever, and it's like an interview with some guys in suits selling TurboGrafx and Sega Genesis, and you hear them talking about like Bonk and how much better Bonk is than Mario because the character is big on the screen, and that's all that they cared about at the time. But anyway, this game is not that. Like it feels good to control. I just wish that it meshed better, the adventure aspect and the platforming aspect. Because I'm not here for the adventure stuff. It's like I said, it's
You mean like the town sections?
yeah, the town stuff. I
Yeah.
just don't like. It was giving me flashbacks to Xanadu, but like Colin mentioned, it's more like that was cleaner, and it's just like you'd have these small town segments where you do your business and then go.
They're
play the
clearly
game.
divided.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you completely, Chris, on the towns, and yeah, it was. I had no patience for it, and it was in fact sort of negative when it was like, I just want to get back to doing the thing I'm trying to do, and I can't figure out where I'm trying to go because all these fucking dumb buildings where there's nothing happening here.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but they
really hated those town sections.
They were saying something like, what is the name of the robot? It made me laugh. Oh yeah, Weenie the warped robot will steal your pizza and take your
Yeah.
hamburger. And I was
Yeah.
like,
I remember
what?
Yeah.
Like it's funny, but again, and I interrupted Chris, but to go back to like it's mixed where I'm trying to play the game. I'm not here to be amused right now, you know.
What? No.
What?
No, pause,
See,
time
that
out.
makes
Yeah.
sense,
Playing
man.
the
That makes
game,
sense
I'm
to
not
me.
here to be amused.
No, I'm not here to like read this silly little dialogue. I would like that in a place where I know I'm gonna read silly dialogue, you know.
I feel that.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Look at
I-
this platforming. Look at this shit.
it's
I
so
love
good.
this. This is
I thought it was good.
this would be hard to program on a
I
SNES.
was thinking the same thing. Like, I wonder how the hitboxes look as it rotates. But
What I feel,
yeah.
what I feel like makes it fair is that you can just sit there for as long as you want and
Yeah.
figure out the timing.
When I realized you go behind it, like there's a weird front back, it kind
Yeah.
of broke my brain and also fucked with me.
Well, to be fair, the level Chris stopped at, I was very confused with the rocks that go in between the foreground and the background behind the waterfall.
Oh, dude, I actually got
Oh,
stuck
yeah.
there for so long.
I was
like,
very
what do I
confused.
do?
That was the least intuitive part of the game.
Agreed.
I got stuck there too.
Yeah, that part is weird. I agree.
I think they
Well, I don't-
tried a hint with the enemies, like the fish,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a very good hint.
Like I accidentally did that. I accidentally got pushed out on the rock and was like, "Oh, wait,
I
what?"
assumed that if you were standing on it when it went behind the waterfall, you would fall.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
assumed. But
Yeah.
I figured it out on accident. But I see what Chris is saying, and I'm kind of halfway between Chris's stance and Danny's stance. Like, I kind of enjoyed a little, like, the quirky little fun parts of the town, but like having to like dodge all these bullshit attacks and like farm gold and like you farm like you go and you buy food at the restaurant and fill your health, and then you buy a pizza to like have backup, and then you just get hit a million times and you're just like fuck it, and you just want to turn it off. Like I can see both sides.
I'll just finish my closing thought by saying
Yeah.
I think it's extremely charming. Like I love all that the character that it has. Like again, like what Danny said, like there's a lot of charm to it, but just I don't think it's fun to play. I think I would honestly rather play Xanadu.
Whoa!
Dang, dude.
Wow.
All
Wow.
right, the
Holy
gloves are
shit,
off now.
That's a take.
This
That
is so
crazy.
interesting.
It's good though. I'm glad we have varying opinions on these games. I like it. That's the point, right?
So you're
Yeah.
trying to tell me that you think this is a joyless piece of shit? Is that
I
what
was
you're
gonna
telling me?
say,
Chris?
He's
Did
saying
you
it's like
call
less
that?
than that.
It's a charming, joyless piece of shit.
Okay. I'll allow
Yeah,
it.
with charm. It's
Um,
got the Croc seal of approval.
So it's like a sociopath, narcissistic serial killer who charms you,
Yeah.
but is
yeah.
actually a horrible piece of shit. But,
I
don't
find that interesting though, because that was kind of what I was expecting to get out of the game, and I ended up liking it instead. Man, those rotating platforms though, the game has so many weird moments like that. Like
Yeah.
do you guys remember the one time they used the water wheel that you run on?
Yes.
Yeah, like the game has so many wonky like
Yeah, like there was always
physicsy
something
times.
to like throw something at you. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Well, I totally agree with that, and for me, that's why also am in the not liking the town section very much. Because for a game that was like constantly surprising me in the levels, I kind of felt like the town gameplay got pretty stale pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. Agreed.
Like,
Agree,
there was
but
that.
at least
oh,
they
yeah.
found. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, at least in that last level, like in the castle, it felt a little bit different to me. I don't know. I felt like it was laid out a little bit differently in a way that was more interesting. But even
Yeah,
then, I
yeah.
still got a little bit bored of it. You know. Anyways, what were you gonna say, Holden?
I was just gonna say the variety in the towns they kept up toward the end at least,
Yeah, there's like a
in one
midsection.
way or another.
There's a midsection that I think it's very similar. But yeah, there's some areas where it was at least charming enough that I wouldn't be completely hating it.
Were there like buildings in the town where the NPCs might repeat the same thing another NPC in a different part of the town said? Or am
Oh.
I making that up?
I think so. I think
As
they
soon as I
all-
went into a thing and I saw an NPC, I just walked right out.
Yeah.
I
or
like that you could
maybe-
do that.
Yeah,
like-
just leave.
Yeah,
you
I
literally
did
just
too. That
fuck
was
off
nice.
in the middle of them talking. You're like, yeah, nah.
Maybe
Yeah,
I
no.
got like turned around and went in the same building twice and didn't realize it, something like that.
Y'all got mole? Nope. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Any
One
mole
thing that I
controllers?
noticed, I saw on Danny's gameplay there was the little worm crawl that you can do.
Yeah.
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 When I
It's-
found out you
it's
could do
kinda
that,
pointless, but it's fucking amazing.
yeah, I kept
I
doing
found it
that in the
useful in one
castle when the
part.
floor was like really shiny and squeaky. I was like, I would do this in real life. So I
It
would
just
always.
looks really funny, and you can also attack from it too. which is
Yeah, I
cool.
love the face he makes when you attack while you're crouching. He just looks so disinterested.
I think like you can tell that they had passion making this game.
Mhm.
All the little quirky details like that.
It's
the
got
art's
neat, like,
incredible.
parallax too. Like there's foreground,
Like,
background.
look at this area. Yeah, like this.
No, I love the game's art. It's so cool.
Did anybody not play as Kid Yang?
I didn't even know you could play as the other
Yeah,
guy.
I just use controller port 2.
So I have a fun anecdote about that. I think Chris knows about
Yeah.
this. When I booted up RetroArch, for whatever reason, it had my controller mapped to the same inputs on player 1 and player 2. So I started the game as both Kid Yang and Dr. Yang playing on like the same pixel, moving
Yeah.
simultaneously. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I sent this to Chris. I was like, this isn't a spoiler, but you've played this and I haven't yet. So what's happening? And I eventually figured it out. But
Finally become an Ices main.
it was
So funny.
weird.
That's good.
Yeah. I feel like this game would be a good time co-op.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
Because then you could do like the mini games together, maybe.
Well,
It
that
would
you
make
could
the
do.
town sections easier because you could like cover more
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah,
of
that is
it. Like,
true.
when, like you get attacked by all kinds of crazy angles, like the spawns are weird, and yeah, sometimes you end up in situations where like you're just gonna get hit, and that's that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like the game spammed enemies a bit. I was kind
Yeah.
of like,
Oh,
Anything that
yeah.
grew
Chill out.
projectiles was awful.
yeah, pretty much. It was like either the enemy was like not a threat whatsoever, or there was like 10 million of them and they were very fast. And it was
Yeah.
like, why?
Did anybody ever actually use bombs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Only accidentally.
Yeah.
I did and was very
there were-
disappointed by how bad they were.
There were
Yeah,
a
there's-
couple bosses where you throw it and it has like a lingering hitbox.
It does,
It'd be
yeah.
pretty
It can
good.
hit multiple times.
Yeah.
I found
But
it
the
good against
coins
the
are just
range
way better.
Yeah,
The
pretty
coins
much.
are really good, yeah.
I felt like the game said something about the bombs early on, made me think like, oh, they're special, like they're gonna be hard to get, and I need to save them, and they're gonna destroy whatever I throw. And they like, yeah, they have a lingering hitbox, but the damage itself on the initial hit or whatever was really.
It's mostly if you wanted like a diagonal down forward.
Yeah. But it's not what I was expecting, based on what it seemed to say it was gonna be.
I can't believe you guys didn't find this section frustrating.
I
Look-
don't
looking
know.
at it, like, I wanted to
got
rip
through
my
it really
arms off playing
quickly
it so
most of the
bad.
times. I
I
would
just-
just grab the right one and just jump up and place the whole
Yeah,
time.
you can just go
jump
straight
thing
up.
in place. Like Danny's
Yeah,
been
this-
struggling with this more than I think I did this in like I don't know. It was maybe 2 minutes. Very
I
Oh
did
no,
it
I came back to
very
here because it
quickly.
loops you if you go in the wrong door.
Yeah, oh, I ran into that too. That was a shout out to Shinobi
Really?
3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just meant in
I
general.
must have just
you know.
got lucky because
Yeah,
that
I don't
never
know.
happened to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It,
this
it, it
was
felt
pretty
it felt
good.
intuitive, but I can see it not.
Like this slots room, like what was like that was awesome.
I love this.
It was
Yeah.
awesome too.
It was
You got
awesome.
bombs.
Yeah, it was fucking lame.
Yeah, I never even knew there were like multiple paths. I just went and got lucky, I guess.
It did just remind me of Shinobi 3, which maybe you just want to play Shinobi 3. I like this boss. All the bosses in the game were that I saw anyway were pretty inventive.
Yeah,
They're all good.
there were some pretty silly bosses. What did you guys think of the? I think it was level 7 or 8. The boss that's the bricks that go back and forth.
Oh, that was one of my favorites.
I thought it was somehow like the dumbest boss, and yeah, one of my favorites at the same time. It was
You
so
mean
silly.
like the totem? Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
tower?
yeah.
Yeah, that boss is fun. The platforming on the boss and like the turning and attacking felt really satisfying.
It took advantage of the game's really clean controls.
Yeah, I agree. That to me that boss is easy for me. I one shot that boss.
Yeah, the boss that I had probably the most trouble with was like the Onimusha guy at the end of the the water level, the waterfall. The dude who like
Oh yeah, who spits
green
out the
goop.
poison cloud?
That guy messed me up. I had to
Yeah.
play that level a lot of times, and I was pretty mad about it.
The reason I remember that poison cloud is because if you're not standing in the right spot, and then also if you don't like hit your jump arc perfectly, he's gonna hit you.
Oh yeah, he jumps right next to you, and then he's like, "Damn, you're done, dude." It's like, fuck.
This boss here, I'm sure I'm probably the only one who even died on it, but if you stand on the left side of the screen, you can avoid getting hit entirely.
There were a lot of
Yeah.
bosses like that. There were
Yeah.
a lot of bosses like that, which I don't know, maybe it's just like an old game thing, but there was a lot of
Another-
bosses where I was like, oh,
That's
Well, the
another
boss
throwback
we
to Shinobi 3.
just watched on stream is literally a DVD screensaver toward the end, like just bouncing. So
He's gonna hit
it's
that
not gonna
corner
hit the
one day.
corners. Yeah, one day.
He like literally can't hit you there.
the game crashes if it does.
See, look how nice this cutscene is. They're just hanging out watching some fireworks.
Yeah, I
Homies.
enjoyed those.
Yeah,
To be
I had to.
honest-
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
what?
no, you go, hold, you go.
No, say your thing, 'cause this is pretty
I
out
was,
there.
I was just gonna say that like I felt like what's the other guy's name? You know,
Dr. Yang.
I didn't really feel like he had very much personality. To be honest, like, I
He
really
didn't
like
have
him
much
very
screen time if you weren't playing as
He just
him.
ate food. Is like all he did. I was like,
That's
okay,
all the
relatable,
personality
but
he needed.
I don't know, dude. I felt like he could have been more like bombastic, like our boy.
He's just a goofy like sidekick. Like he's
Yeah.
just along for the ride, you know.
He's your
Fair
like
enough.
freeloader uncle, old creepy guy who's just eating food and they're being weird while you're
Yeah.
saving the day.
With a weird mustache.
Yeah.
Is that a mustache?
No, I think it's his hat. It wraps around his nose.
That's his hat? I thought that was his hair. That's a hat?
That's a hat. Yeah, wait, what? Let me
Yeah,
see
I think
this
it's like a
again.
ninja bandana hat.
I thought that was his hair.
Here, we're
I
looking
thought
at the
he had, like-
cutscene. It could be
Yeah,
his
I-
hair. It looks like a
I thought
braid.
he had like braids that he shoved up his nose.
This is the true Legend of the Mystical Ninja. What is his
It's
hat
like-
or hair?
It's like in A Link to the Past with Aghanim. His hat looks like his face, and it looks like a doofy, like weird kid with like a bowl cut. But that's actually his hat. It's not his face. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about.
I know, I do, I do.
Yeah, I
I saw
do.
it wrong for years and years, and I saw what he actually looks like. I was like, no.
Yeah, he looks like if you look at it wrong, he looks like Pokey from Earthbound.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I grabbed a picture.
That's what I always
of,
saw.
Concept art, I think, or like more of an anime looking thing, and I think it is a hat.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like how Dr. Wily, like once you see his feet up in the UFO, like you can't unsee it. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. Like it looks like his little feet on either side of the UFO, and you're like, what?
So this guy puts the chin strap of his hat under his nose.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the securing point, the anchor.
Okay, you know what? I've changed my thoughts. I think he's actually sick now. That's a pretty bold,
He's
bold
great, dude.
hairstyle.
He's
I
just
feel-
eating food.
I don't know. I still think.
He also
Everything in
has two
character.
weird bumps on his head where his eyebrows are. That's weird. I don't like that.
Like that was one of my favorite things. Like there's so many different weird ass enemies in this game. The guy who holds the carp and you hit him and then the fish starts flopping around, you gotta hit the fish.
Dude, the enemy. So when we were playing Faxanadu, I was talking talking about, well, like for a NES game, this game has a really good enemy variety, but this game has so much variety per level, just like enemies alone, but the art, music, but
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how many individual enemies are in this game, you know?
It's a lot. To be fair, though, I feel like a lot of them just do the same thing for the most part.
Run at
Take
you and
that
get
back.
hit.
Yeah, but like it made the town levels more interesting because you're right, they had like hecka variety, which is cool. I like that too.
My favorite
One thing I
enemy.
will say about this game is that it should have definitely had save system. Like those long ass passwords are just fucked up, dude.
They take a
So-
while.
Well, it's weird you say that because there is kind of a save, but I could never actually figure out how it worked. Because you
Yeah,
have
you
two
can
options
continue.
where you can continue or you can enter your password. But sometimes you would continue and it would put you like in a previous travel agency. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was weird. I didn't like that. Like,
Yeah.
Probably
it
probably
is
threw
an
a password
early,
in last minute or something.
it is an early SNES game, but like it should have had a Link to the Past had a save system. Like, come on. So did Super Metroid. So did Super Mario World. Like, give us saves. No
Those
passwords.
batteries weren't cheap.
Do you think it has
True.
something to do with how much they managed to cram?
I don't know. I thought they were cheap.
I don't know. I mean, they're just trying to cut manufacturing costs.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Also, the shit that the enemies drop in the town section disappears way too fast.
Yeah, you gotta be ready for that shit.
Like
Also,
there are times where I'd hit someone and like they drop shit and I would just know that I wasn't gonna get it. Like it didn't matter. I was just too far away and it just disappeared.
What makes it even better, the cap power up, like the weapon power, bounces away from you when it spawns. So it's like there might
Yes.
literally be no chance that you can get it.
Yeah, that happened all the time. All the time. And it annoyed me a lot.
Did I miss something? Why is the footage looping? Did you start again?
Oh yeah, I just recorded an hour, like when I first
Oh,
played.
okay.
I just played for an hour because I thought I was gonna beat the game in like one sitting, so I don't like to
Gotcha.
do that. So I was like, I'm gonna stop.
I was hoping I could see
disappointed
the
that
end
it-
of the game here. I'm gonna have to beat it
Yeah.
myself.
We're also
Um,
critical, Danny.
My favorite enemy in the whole game was those little bouncy guys in the like kind of second castle-ish area where like you're bouncing, like you're jumping on those balls that are clacking, like the little guys with knives that like stick in the ground.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because their names,
the mosquito men.
well, their names, they are literally the NWA. They are ninjas with attitude.
Is that really what
That is literally their name according to.
Holy shit.
Yeah, the book, the actual book is full of so many gems.
Yeah, it's really funny. I enjoyed just reading it.
The opening section in the book that like describes like the lore was really good. It was like really well written.
Yeah, they should have done like a Kirby thing at the end where it shows all the dang enemies. I think that would have been
I was
better.
thinking that too.
Yeah,
I-
that would've been
Maybe
cool.
that's a spoiler. Sorry.
Did any? This is off topic. Did any of you guys play Breakout in this?
Yes.
Did you see the thing that almost resembled my profile picture?
Yeah, the mood in the left side, like
yeah,
in the
that threw
middle.
me off super hard. I'm glad you saw that.
I didn't
Yeah,
see that.
I think I play it in this footage, so I'll try to point it out.
I only played Gradius.
I don't
think
know. Go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say my favorite thing in the entire game is the 69-foot CRT Konami.
Yeah, the Konami
For
brand
sure.
CRT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
With
I
the
like that.
sound system on the sides too. You're like, this Gradius
Oh,
is
yeah.
bumping.
Damn straight.
Did you know that if you hit that bell, all the enemies on screen die?
Oh, I did not.
No.
Yeah, it's like you get a bunch of power ups.
I liked these
Look how-
enemies, the umbrella guys, because they reminded me of that one character you can pick in TKO.
And
Yeah.
do you even ever see
both
these things
yokai.
again?
No.
That's what I was thinking. I feel
That's
like
crazy.
there's a bunch of enemies in the first two levels that just don't come back, whereas other ones repeat.
This stage reminds me of like Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, I just love the artwork. Like, look how beautiful the background is. Like the pale pink
Yeah.
forest in the background.
The backgrounds and colors are really fantastic. Here's my obligatory. It looks amazing on a CRT comment. It looks amazing. on a
Yeah.
I bet
CRT.
it does.
And look how
I-
pissed off Kid Ying looks.
I'm just so shocked that the town sections really put you guys off that much. Like I liked them because they broke up the action and they kind of fit with the whole, I guess, mood. It was like, okay, you got to travel to this new town. Here's the town. Here's the townsfolk. Like, I will agree the enemy spam is a little obnoxious, but it was never like it was really hard to deal with. The only annoying thing that could happen is like Superset, like you go and you buy all your shit and you're like, I'm prepared for the level, and then something goes absolutely tits up as soon as you walk out and you just lose all of it and you're like, oh fuck it, I'm going to the level anyway.
It does give the game a lot of unique flavor and something makes it stand out from just a standard action platformer, but yeah, I just don't think it complements the other half very well.
That's fair. I can definitely see that. I think if I would have played it not sick as fuck, I probably would have enjoyed the town sections a lot more.
Yeah, my mood was part of my lack of enjoyment. I think I was just not in the right headspace for it.
I think things like that in games, like where it's like a side thing, kind of like you have to be like, I don't know, like you said, in a certain mood to enjoy it. Because I just wanted to like get down to business. Like I just wanted to progress. I just wanted to do the side-scrolling levels. But I think, I don't know. I think if I played it again, I would definitely enjoy the town sections more.
I'm not coming at you guys or anything, but I'm kind of coming at you guys because Holden, when did you say you finished the game?
It's the day before when we were supposed to go last week.
Okay, because I feel
started
like
2 weeks after.
because I didn't rush it. Like I didn't mind dicking around in the towns. Like I wasn't on a tight timetable. I was just playing the game.
Playing about 2 to 3 hours at a time.
So
and
I'm thinking that also probably affected my enjoy. Like because when you guys are saying like get this shit out of the way, I want to get through this, I want to like play it. I'm like, well, a lot of the reason I wasn't feeling like that is because I didn't have that time crunch. Like
That's fair. I think
I was
that's
big
I
chilling.
think that's probably true. It's like it's different context.
I mean, for me, it wasn't that I felt like under a time crunch because the game that I did feel like that with was Faxanadu, and that definitely also fucked with my opinion of that game. But in this one, it was just like, no, the side-scrolling sections and beating up enemies felt so good and so snappy and so responsive that I don't care. I don't want to talk to the NPCs. I don't want to play the janky ass mini games. I want to.
But what if you find a secret and get better gear, Clon?
I bought the hat and the armor and that was fine, and I got the sandals and that made me faster, but I don't give a shit about the random NPCs.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I liked the towns to start off. I just felt like they got a bit tedious, and I don't really feel like there was any like secrets to find for like a permanent upgrade. Like maybe alive here or there, but like I think that the jutsus would have been way better if instead you found them by doing stuff in the town, and then you just got to have the jutsu. Because I got pissed off. I had to buy the jutsu every time. I hated that.
Yeah,
it got to a
would've-
point where I just bought the flying jutsu when I saw it, and that was it.
I think
You know, like,
another part of it was that like the town layouts, I don't think they were intended to be sort of like a maze, but it made it hard for me to know sometimes where to go to get back to what I wanted to be doing. So I got like, I can't get out of this stupid town. Which way do you want me to go? You know?
and
I'm
all
not
the
gonna be
houses
that
look the same,
guy.
no signs or anything.
But when you talk to people in the houses, they literally say one's like in the southern portion, in the castle.
Sometimes.
They give you,
I mean-
they literally give you hints where to go by going in.
Sometimes.
No, I don't know, man. The towns are like 3 screens max, is all I'm gonna say.
Okay, well, I'm also bad at Zelda, so fucking eat my ass.
dude, it's hard to
Hey, whoa,
freaking
whoa.
remember where you're going whenever you're getting freaking fish are thrown at you every 5 minutes. You're like, I'm just trying to survive.
No, these are valid complaints, and again,
Yeah,
it's I was
absolutely.
kind of timid of thinking I would maybe not enjoy the game. Again, I was surprised I did enjoy the game so much.
I think it comes down to what Colin said earlier. Like, it would have been nice if there were just like some landmarks. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that's the shop. You can tell from outside. You know what I mean?
There's good landmarks, in my opinion. I'm gonna.
area.
I think I'm sick in the head because every time a level was done, I would go straight to the password room, and that song is one of the best songs I've heard all year in
It
video
is-
games.
Oh,
it is a good
hell yeah.
song.
It's so good.
Yeah, I just kind of
That
wanted
was
to
the
chill
only
in there,
yeah.
chat that lady up.
I say there's no reason to explore the town, but really that's what I was always looking for was the once I found the save and the mini game and the shops, I was like, all right, peace. nope.
I had
Did
some-
did anybody else do the quiz?
Nope.
Yeah, the quiz cracked me up.
Oh my god! So my first introduction to the quiz was trying to mash through the dialogue, and on
I
the
think
first
Zelda,
question,
you got the
he
one
said-
right, right?
yeah, he said what, and I buzzed in. I was like, oh fuck, and I was like, fireball, and I got it right, and I was like, yes. And I don't know if it biased the AI to how quick I answered, because then the next question,
I
the
think it
AI
does. They start
buzzed
popping
in
off
instantly
faster
and got it
faster.
right, and I was like, oh
That's so
fuck.
funny. I never experienced that. I think I played it once, and I was like,
I saw the word quiz and I was like, "What is this school? Fuck that!" And I just walked out.
I never found it. I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
do
glad
the
you
maze
played
or-
it, Donnie.
I didn't do any of that shit.
I liked
whole-
the maze. I thought the maze was cool.
The horse racing was way funnier than it should have been.
I couldn't figure it out. I didn't know what was happening. Every time I tried, I was like, I don't know. I went.
I did the horse racing a few times. I liked that. I enjoyed
don't
that.
know how
The
horses
sprites were hilarious. dude.
Yes,
Like,
it was really funny to watch. And then did you guys
Yeah.
read the book part about the horse track? I'm gonna read it because it's really funny. Fast
Go
Eddie's
for it.
horse track. Select your favorite pony, then play your hunch and make a wager. Use the A button and B button to place your bet. Press start button to get the horses off and running. Warning, a lot of these horses are dogs. So watch out for
No.
nags or you'll be betting on future glue. I was like, that's fucked up.
Holy
That's
shit.
awesome. That's so good though. It's so yeah, it's awesome. It's like so zingy.
Yeah.
Also,
I love
fuck.
that.
I still don't know what that memory game was. I thought it was memory, but then the cards move, and the computer was always way better than me at it. And at the end, it's like, let's pick a bonus card, and it picked a card that I never saw, and it was like, you lose. I was like, well, what?
Yeah, I actually, the second time I played it, I got a match. The AI didn't get a match, and then it ended, and I lost money.
What did you guys think about Goblin?
The Goblin one was pretty funny.
I will.
Like, this is a
be
waste
the
of time,
first.
but I like it.
This will be the first thing to
You like
admit.
Goblin?
I never got a single point on Goblin, and I tried to play it 3 times.
I was able to be.
I only got 1.2, and I was like,
What? I was
I
able
couldn't
to.
figure it out, dude.
I was able to make money every time.
Really?
I'm like,
Set
am I
up like
hitting the
Goblin
things in
later.
the foreground? Am I aiming for that thing in the background? I couldn't figure out
I
shit.
just like that it was called Goblin. You're throwing coins into this thing's like hat
Yeah, I,
I
never,
or whatever was going on.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I did play that one.
I also
realized
don't know what they're
you're
talking about.
It's like a dude.
Because
He's
you
like
guys are
running
like
around
mini
with the he's running around with the pot, and you gotta like. It's basically like you're playing basketball at like a a carnival.
Hold
Oh,
on.
okay.
I'll have you know, I spent 5 minutes, which it still doesn't sound substantial, but for a mini game, that's a bit. Playing the
You
horse
spent
game.
5 minutes on Goblin.
No, on the horse game, and I literally could not intuit or figure out how the scoring worked. It'd be like 3-2 or whatever it was. It had the dashes, and I used save states. I was like, I just want to see how this works. I'm trying to figure out how the scoring works. Like, how does it even tell who won or what's
Yeah.
the relationship between my pick and what happens on the screen and what's the goal?
I remember I thought I won big, and it turns out I didn't.
I didn't
I
understand.
never
I
figured it
also
out.
did not understand.
Either, dude. I was
That's why
like,
you're-
okay.
Maybe bet on a
Sounds like-
dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say you guys are betting on the dogs and not the horses.
It's funny with all that save stating. Again, 5 minutes of rapid fire playing the horse game. I never won.
Did any of you guys
Awesome.
win the big lottery legit?
I did. I
I
won
got
it.
one too.
I won it on Bird D7, and I was like, "Let's go."
I got it on Cow D something.
See, D's lucky.
I got 2 out of 3 right and was like, huh, okay, and then I left.
Yeah, I just didn't have patience for any of that stuff. Like, and I don't think it was because like I beat the game. I was done with it when I was still sick, and like I told you guys, like I don't think I'd be able to do it. Like it was just, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I had like the mental fortitude, or not fortitude, but like patience to do these mini games. They just felt like something that I just wasn't interested in at all. But
It's
that was, I think that was just my, partially just the way I am with games, and partially the state I was in when I played.
Yeah,
For-
that's definitely how I feel about games in general. Like, I don't engage with any of the mini games in Zelda either.
For me, that's the kind of stuff I really like doing in longer, more intentional RPGs. Like I like doing side quests. I like talking to NPCs. It's one of my favorite things about Dragon Quest is that all the way they localize them is all the towns have different like dialects. So you go to this town and everybody talks in this goofy ass Russian accent or whatever, you know, or like an Italian accent. And they say weird, Italian things, and it's funny and it's flavorful, and I like that. But in this, it's not what I wanted. It was like this thing on my plate. I went to an American restaurant and I wanted a burger and fries, and they gave me like a flambe or something, and I'm like, I mean, that's cool, but I didn't order that.
Well, if
Yeah.
you were in the amusement park, if you go to the diner, you can get a teriyaki takeout burger.
Get out of here.
I thought it was just one thing, and I was like, "What the hell is a teriyaki burger takeout?" And it was teriyaki burger and takeout. I was like, "Oh," and then I was disappointed.
I definitely rolled around with pizza and hamburger in my inventory for most of the game.
Yeah, but what
Same.
if Willy Weenie comes and steals it, or whatever his name was?
Yeah, what then? Are you not
I
amused?
killed that bastard a
Yeah.
million times. He
Yeah, there
did
were lots of
steal
him.
my pizza once.
Did you
Only
go buy
once,
another
though.
one?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Fuck you. That's my pizza.
So not to just keep staying on the mini games, but I enjoyed playing the Tron, like the painting one.
Yeah, I like that one.
That was a lot of fun, and man, would I say some gamer words when I fucked it up at a really like tight. You could make good money on that one too, actually.
I played that one for 1 second and I exploded or died or whatever.
Yeah, the controls were a bit janky on that one.
Yeah, there's
if
a
I'm
bit
being
of a
honest.
delay. It was a learning curve.
It was probably intentional, right? Like the delay, because the rest of the game, the controls are so snappy.
Yeah, it was like, I guess, the feeling of a tight turn.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for me, a lot of the different mini games ended up being like a means to an end to get more money.
That's true.
So I just was like, at a certain point, I was just like, just mole. I
here-
played mole for like 6 levels.
Here's Holden's
Oh, there it is.
avatar.
Yeah, there's my profile picture.
You can't see it now. It's
Kinda.
obscured.
Yeah, I don't know. I find this such an interesting conversation because I was having some like really high level, almost conflicted thoughts about like game development in general. Because again, I was not expecting to enjoy the game as much. I was asking myself like this game has so much like kind of fluff and pretty things on it. I was like, am I liking this game for the wrong reasons? Is this like the God of War Ragnarok like high fidelity cutscene is this big old Konami TV sprite? But then I was like, no, underneath, in my opinion, there's a really good game there.
Yeah, it was just video game with lots of extras in video game form.
Maybe
Like, none
that's
of-
why I don't like it, because like a lot of modern games that have shit like that pisses me off too. It's like I don't know, it's not really a distraction, but it's like things that I felt like it was tacked on unnecessarily,
Right.
like just like filler,
All these
Mhm.
systems fighting for each other against each other for no good reason.
I feel like if the mini games are implemented differently, they weren't surrounded by bullshit enemy spam, like it would have been a lot better.
I
don't know. I had more fun literally finding like a nice corner in the town sections and just farming and just killing enemies.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
to me, that was more fun than playing the mini games.
Yeah.
Just killing enemies over and over and like dodging
And
the
I think-
effects.
I feel like, they probably had that as a basis and we're probably like, hey, let's give people other ways to make money too. you
Yeah,
know?
that's cool. Like I didn't necessarily enjoy that aspect a whole lot, but I respect the design choice in giving the people the choice and variety in how they approach the economy aspect of the game. Like, yeah, I can totally see that. That's good.
Yeah,
I agree. I'd say I respect the game, like the design choices for sure. Even though I didn't think the result was very enjoyable for me. I also feel
This-
like if I'd played it back in the day when I was a kid, when you have like one game to play.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that too. Like if it was like my only game, I think I would have freaking loved it.
Yeah, there's so
Dude,
much
this
to
game has 8
do.
games in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Goblin, Mom. I can't come to dinner.
Oh, there's the coin guy. Oh god.
Fuck that guy. I just start
That's
throwing
fucking-
coins all the time.
I hate those jumping coin guys. Those are the guys that like where I was just like, all right, fuck the town. Like I hate this.
Yeah. For me, it was those freaking crows, man. They like I don't know about you guys, but like
Oh, dude, yeah. They
They-
had like nonsensical hitbox.
yes.
Oh yeah,
They're flying in the
did.
air and you're on the ground, and like they fly above you and like hit
that
you.
was a bad
because
enemy.
Yeah, I
it
think
wasn't
was
like
bad.
programmed properly. Like
Yeah, I don't think it meshed well. The bomb would like go through multiple levels of like, you know what I mean? Like if the bird was flying in like the farthest 3D space, the furthest into the screen, and you were like at the closest, sometimes the
Yeah.
bomb like when you'd think the bomb would drop past you or in front of you, it would like blow up, and I don't know, it was fucking weird. It was weird.
it was weird. It
Peeved.
it definitely didn't make sense physically. Like
Yeah,
the way that you'd get hit by it sometimes.
yeah, it was
A
annoying.
lot of the hitboxes felt pretty jank to me. I hated falling back into something and getting hit multiple times because you don't really have iframes.
Yeah, like
Could
getting
fall
hit
on spikes
was
twice.
terrifying. Especially in a boss fight. Like if you ended up in the like wrong area, like especially if it was a boss that moved or jumped, like if they jumped onto you, it was like, well, there goes that attempt.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff though in this game, like you die to it your first try, but like a lot of it was really easy to like learn the patterns and learn how to avoid stuff in this game. Like you like a lot of the times I would get fucked up in certain parts my first go around, but then like I would quickly figure out how to avoid shit. And that I think that's just a indicator of a well designed game.
Yeah,
It's like it presents a challenge, and the challenge kicks your ass at first, but then like you intuitively learn how to overcome it. That happened a lot in this game for me, where I'm like, "This is stupid, fuck this game," and then I'm like, "Wait a minute, you can do this."
Hold on.
you
It
stand in
works.
the corner. Look at that.
look at that.
Oh, it worked again. Did anybody find it weird how there was that weird ball sack raccoon at the start
I
of every
was-
level?
That's a
He didn't
Tanuki,
have-
dude.
He didn't have the nutsack.
That's very
I don't know, dude.
normal Tanuki behavior, man.
I watched
When
Bomb
you
Poco,
die-
okay, but still, it was weird.
When you die, it asks you if you want to start at the raccoon dog.
Yeah.
What does it do? Like,
And well, it's just a checkpoint. It doesn't do anything.
well, like I don't know, man. It was weird. I was like,
He
this-
warns you. It's
I
dangerous
just
in
thought it
here.
was hilarious.
You should put some
Personally,
damn pants on.
no.
At least I bet the one of the Japanese version, he's just got nuts hanging out.
He already does.
Just a big old raging. No, anyways,
Making
No.
a goblin.
I
Goblin-
really enjoyed that. Like it felt like what? Like what is this? Like why? But like I don't know. It was just a thing that like didn't seem like to have any bearing on the gameplay or even the story. It was just there and it was funny.
Well, and there's also
Every
that one
I
time,
saw that I laughed.
like in the castle, he shows up like before you have the book, and he's like, "Be careful, it's dangerous ahead." And you're like, "Okay, I'm going into the castle," and you just walk
yeah.
over and you talk to the guy, and he's like, "Sup?" You're
Yeah.
like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
But yeah, huh.
He's at the beginning of every side-scrolling section.
I actually ran out of time in that level. The castle with all the secret
Oh
packages.
yeah.
It's funny. I think Holden was talking about the timer with the mini games could be weird, but it doesn't really ever be. It's not ever a problem. But I actually ran out of time there.
I did run out of time once as well.
Yeah, on the that platforming section that I kept complaining about that nobody.
Oh,
had
that
a
would make me
problem with.
rage. That makes a lot more sense why you hate that level.
You must have been on that for like 30 minutes, man.
No, I
Yeah,
feel like Chris. I
that's
got
what it
pretty
felt like.
close. Like it did take a while for me to get through that part. I was cutting it close when I beat that level.
I just feel like the timer just like shouldn't be there at all. Like it
I
didn't
agree.
really-
Really.
I didn't
It
even know
didn't
it
add
existed.
anything.
I'm
Yeah, like,
surprised this game doesn't
exactly.
have like a points counter. You know,
Yeah.
another archaic sort of artifact of old game design, like a timer.
Like it gives
I-
you so much time. So
It's
like,
so
why
much
even have
time.
it?
I really feel like they put it there to be like, hey, don't grind for the rest of your life.
But there's parts in the game where you can literally buy time.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like
kinda
what
silly.
the fuck?
I think
but
it's a band-aid fix.
I think it's just a leftover like relic. Like they're like, oh, you have to have a timer. It's like Mario, you know. You have
Yeah,
to
I
have a
think-
timer.
I think there's something to what Holden said though. I didn't think about that. They probably put it in there so to maybe encourage you to do the mini games instead.
Hmm.
So I guess
Use
having them
something,
give more
expedite
money
it,
is-
yeah, for sure.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I did grind in the timer. I only ran out of time once, but like that was just me like fucking around. But I don't know. I just felt like the
I do
timer
think it's
didn't. It
also
didn't
what
need
you're
to be
saying
there.
though, Super. Like it's just games had timers.
Yeah, it's
I-
fair
Yeah.
because it's games have timers.
They could have
That's what
removed
makes
it,
sense,
and I think it would have just. It wouldn't really have affected the game.
I
yeah.
think
There was another game.
yeah.
Was there another game that we did that had a timer that felt superfluous until you actually, like, maybe I'm just thinking of like Majora's Mask or something where you get dinged by it once and it fucking sucks, but it doesn't really have much bearing on.
You get dinged and the moon comes into the planet.
Yeah.
And then you just turn the
Gross.
game off
The
forever.
planet gets
When's Majora's Mask?
Hopefully never. Maybe that'll be long
You
game.
beat that in 8
Yeah.
hours.
So-
Oh, game is sick.
You could pretty easily.
Did
That's
anybody-
not- That's off topic.
Did anybody have enough money for the pass without having to farm?
No.
No, I had to farm. You know what, dude? I think that the game would have been way better if they just like maybe made the economy a little bit less bloated. You know what I mean? Like,
Agreed.
I think, frankly, I think that I would have
Wait,
played.
what do you mean?
like I feel bad like saying that something should have been one way, you know, but like I think that because like I had to play Mole a lot of times and I just didn't play the other mini games because I was like, I need to get enough money. I think if instead I went to the mini game place and they're like, hey, play this mini game for like freaking like I don't know, for like shoes or something, I would have
I
like
agree.
I would have
Nice.
played all the mini games, you know, like an equal amount rather than just focusing on Mole. You know what I,
I think
mean?
that's actually a great design solution, Darth.
I agree.
I agree.
If the mini games had offered items instead of just money, I think I probably would have played them.
It achieves the same thing, and then I would have actually gotten good at, you know, Goblin, as they say.
All right. That's
Darth-
hilarious.
Darth would have finally become the Mind Goblin.
That's right. I would've
Dude, I
finally
wasn't
I would've
making a
become
joke. I was
Gargoyle.
actually really good at Goblin.
I bet you were.
I'll show you guys later.
Ooh.
I mean,
Look
I
forward to
never
that
saw it.
on the OnlyFans where we get the panel back
No,
together.
the minigame Goblin in Mystical Ninja.
Okay,
Yeah.
On your
you
OnlyFans.
heard it here first.
Yeah,
It's not
I,
TOS.
I do find it interesting that it's so varied because I finished this game and I was like, man, I bet everybody loved this game. It was such a treat.
I don't know why,
enjoyed it
Donnie. I
so
was
much.
expecting you to hate it. I was bracing
No
for impact.
way.
I still like it.
I also thought you were gonna not like it, Daddy.
Well,
I don't know. I thought like that you would find the town sections annoying, but apparently it was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
We really,
wild card.
we're gonna get through a full year of this, and we still won't know what
Who's
each
gonna
other
like
truly
what?
likes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought this was gonna be an easy like a Shinobi tier. Like game's good, fun to play.
It turns out worse than Faxana
Shit.
sucks.
That still burns that Chris said that.
Well, this is
Pretty
worse than
fair
Faxanity.
Yeah, like, and I was a
That's a hot
Faxanity
take.
sympathizer too.
Hey man, I like the fact that we have such varied opinions.
I did too.
I hate it. I think we should all have the same opinion.
Right.
This is the worst game ever I love it. I mean, I love it.
So it's funny you said varied opinions, Danny. I feel like the only person who maybe didn't like the game was Chris. Everybody else had a great time with it. Some
I
mild
liked
quibbles aside.
Things about it. I liked some things.
You
It's
hated
like
it.
my experience was very wildly different. Like when I'd be fighting some bosses and I'd be really enjoying myself, but then I'd get to a town segment and I'm saying this is literally the worst game I've played.
Yeah. So some
Literally the
divisive
worst
elements
game.
for sure.
No, I'm with Chris to an extent. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the town sections. I felt like they were just done a little bit differently. I would have liked them a lot more. Like Darth's point, where make the mini games more than just getting gold. And like Gradius too. Like I beat Gradius, and then I got literally nothing, and I was
Should
like,
have gotten like a
"Fuck
laser beam.
this."
But you got a level of Gradius
Yeah.
though, dude.
You got the same,
Yeah, I think
the
style points.
satisfaction.
Yeah, if I wanted to do that, I'd just play Gradius.
For real. For real.
Like it was a fun little, well done mini game, but like what's the point? like in the grand scheme of things, like the way that all the other mini games work, like even like just walking in a building and talking to someone, like a lot of the times, like Danny said, they give you useful information. Like when you walk around in the town, you kill an enemy, they give you an item. You play a mini game, you get gold. You play Gradius, you get fuck all. Like, come on.
It's just
So
like
what you're
real
telling
life,
me
dude.
is this game is just Animal Crossing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
talking
actually
now.
didn't even play Gradius because it cost me too much money.
It has $100 for
It was
Gradius.
$100.
Yeah,
Get
but I
100
was like trying. I didn't want to have to play Mole again, dude.
Just kill 10 enemies. They're everywhere.
I didn't want to do that anymore. I was bored of it.
I don't know.
Hideous,
I
though.
liked killing the enemies. I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Nice fish, fuck you.
And then the
Come
fish
here,
hits
pretty
you, and
lady.
you're like, "Stupid enemy! Shouldn't drop the fish."
Well, I'd be in the
Fish
zone.
was tricky. Like when you killed the enemy holding the fish would drop on like a different plane to where the
Yeah.
enemy was standing when they died. And then you try and hit the fish, and it would just like juke you and break your ankles and like hit
Yeah,
you.
man.
The fish was nasty with it.
Yeah, the fish had sick neutral.
I was like, this happened to me frequently. I'd be like in the zone, killing all the enemies and making money, and then a woman would walk on screen to just clock her.
Yep,
Damn, there goes 100 money.
yep, that happened to me.
Keep
a
doing
lot.
it, you know. Like, I'm not reacting to the enemy. I'm reacting to an object.
So look how nice this stage right now looks. The little whirlpools. You hit the guys off the bridge, they fall and they like shrink. They get all small. You see the ships
It's
in the
that
background.
Fiji water in the background.
Yeah, that's right.
I like those guys hanging on the bridge. Like they literally were just there just for fun. Like they don't
What
attack.
what
They don't
about
do it.
those? Sorry, those hammer enemies that are crawling up the poles near the end of the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm
I
like,
actually-
why? It's like making you anxious, and they're just about to get to the top, and you just
Yeah,
gotta keep
I
jumping.
really like that section because if you haul ass and just jump, you get
Yep.
through it before they get to
You
the top.
avoid all of them. Yeah, I like that too. I thought it made that part fun. Like
Yeah.
it was like go go go, and like you get to take advantage of the tight controls, and you just like go and like do these sick jumps across the platforms. I like that part.
Yeah, but then they also kind of flip it on its head there because if you just rush and jump early on like the part literally right next to that, you hit the enemy who is on that ramp and he knocks
Yep.
you into the hole. It's like, okay,
Yep.
slow down,
Yeah.
gear down, big rig. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably intentional. Like the way they placed that guys would be like, okay, you're going fast, 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 but like slow down. Like yeah, I agree. Good shit. Like little things. This game is full of little things like that. Like in every level, like they don't reuse shit. Like it's like always different and well implemented too.
If I had any like gripe about a part, it was actually the part after the one we're talking about, like the totem boss, like where you're on that platform that's
Oh,
moving.
yeah.
I lost a lot of lives to that part.
That's a big negative to me. I also died an obscene amount of times. I just think it's so dumb because you have sick level, fun boss fight. You fall down to a high momentum spot where it's like, okay, this is a Donkey Kong Country on rails moment, and then you jump into a circular platform and you're just like
Yeah.
you lose all momentum. It feels really bad.
Yeah,
The
and
flight
you had
detail
to
is
like
really useful there.
yeah, you had to figure out like the perfect timing to pause the
Now
platform.
you're like
to get
awkwardly
away.
jumping.
Yeah,
that
and
was
then
pretty dumb.
In the middle of your jump, you're like, "Fuck! Did I just jump to the wrong platform?" And you double guess yourself and just die. And you're like, "Well." Yeah, I didn't. If I had one major gripe, it was literally that part because it just
Yeah, that
chomped
was
on
the
my
worst
lives.
design spot for sure.
I also didn't really like the prison part. The overhead
I thought that was
part.
kind of cool.
It was cool. The concept of it was cool. Like you had to
Yeah,
go talk
I guess
to
the
guy, and then
concept was cool, but then in execution was pretty
dude, the guys
boring.
with the fucking guns. Fuck those guys, dude. Oh god. Like sometimes the bullets would come off from off screen, dude.
Yeah. I
Like,
just,
what the-
just throw coins. Literally, you throw coins and you like follow the coin forward.
I think I found myself running at the bottom of the screen most of the time.
Yeah, if you stick to the top or bottom, you can for the most part avoid the bullets. But like you'll kill some enemies in the middle of the screen and you go to collect shit, and then here comes bullets from off screen, and it's like, well, good shit, I guess. I don't know. It was cool how you like go through the prison and you talk to the guy, and it turns out there's a secret door like
Oh, yeah.
In
the
your
cell where
cell.
you were.
It was
I
there
thought
the
that
whole
was good.
time.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked that part. That was cool.
For sure.
What was everybody's favorite boss fight?
I
The
liked.
last boss. I liked
Yeah.
the last boss.
Okay, the
That's
last
what-
boss was sick. The dude with the crate on his back, he comes in, the pedals are falling.
Oh yeah, the Kabuki guy that Darth was
I don't
talking
know.
about.
Maybe that's not the coolest boss, but I like that boss a lot for some reason.
I like that one.
It's just
best.
enjoyable to execute on.
I actually found myself like learning to fight the boss a lot more than most of the other bosses do. Trying
Mhm.
to fight him.
I like the one at the top of the castle that you fight like on the weird plane thing, like the kite thing.
The kite thing? Oh,
Yeah.
that one was really cool too.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it was
it
like
was
you were
good.
fighting another ninja guy, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck you.
I liked that. Yeah, that was good. I felt that the last boss dodging the arrows and like hitting the arrow at the perfect time to hit the weird dog guy in his face, like
Mhm.
that was super satisfying.
I
Dog
found
guy also made a really
I
good
could- I-
noise.
I had a really hard time figuring that fight out. Like I seriously had a hard time figuring out how to
Me
dodge
too.
this.
I did too. I was just jumping and spamming coins, and
At
then
a
it worked
certain
out.
at a certain point, I actually just like powered through it and beat him. And I was like, I never really figured it out.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought I had to use coins because I'd hit him in the face and then hit the arrow into him when that animation was going on,
Oh god.
and then it would
For
count
me-
as damage.
That boss fight was good, in my opinion, because it's kind of like, well, I haven't played the Souls games, but like the way people describe, like you fight a boss and it just completely obliterates you, and you feel so helpless and weak and powerless.
Yeah.
But then you
I'm
learn
not doing
to do it,
damage.
and you just like overcome it, and you're like, oh, here we go, and you kick its ass, and it's super satisfying. That's how I felt with that boss, the last boss with the arrows.
I was surprised that there was a boss rush. I did not see that coming in this game.
Me too.
Me
I was
neither.
kind of weirded out by it. I was like, do I really gotta
It's
do
only
every
like, it
single
wasn't
boss?
like all the bosses.
Yeah,
though.
it
There
was
only
like-
2 of them.
Yeah, it was like every other, and it's funny because I feel like it skipped a lot of the annoying ones. I was like, did they know?
I know. I was like,
They-
please
they
don't make
know.
me fight the Onimusha guy again. Oh my god, I'd be so fucked.
Well, wasn't it just 2 bosses and then the last boss?
Yeah, it was like the one with like the head that floats around and what was
Yeah,
the
and
other
the
one?
lantern one, like the
Lantern.
Yeah,
It was the
Kodo.
lantern, the face, and then the last boss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The lantern one was the only one I used bombs against. It was literally the only time I ever find them useful.
I just threw hell of fucking coins.
Yeah, it's still coins were still better.
I used the yo-yo on that guy. I just jumped on him and just yo-yoed the shit out of him.
I think my favorite weapon to use on that guy, and in general, was the pipe. It's just more satisfying to use than the coins.
I liked the yo-yo. Like you guys are saying that the yo-yo was like it felt worse.
You just gotta
than
play a
the
little
pipe.
different
I
most
liked
of the
it.
time.
I
I liked
liked
it
it.
too.
I thought
Or-
I liked it more than the pipes for sure.
What were sorry, I think was there anyone else who wanted to talk about the boss that they like? I feel like we missed someone.
I didn't
Chris?
say, but I didn't see all of them either. I like the DVD screensaver boss face.
Yeah, that one cracked me up.
I like that one too.
Well, I just like that
Like
his
at the
face was
end.
rearranged wrong, and his eyes,
Yeah.
the blush would be where his eyes were, and his eyebrows would be the eyes, and he looked all stupid. I was like, all right.
I just thought it was funny how his face would literally fall off like into little pieces. That was funny.
Something about the bosses in
Kinda
this
spooky.
game and some little things reminded me of Yoshi's Island for some reason. I don't know.
Oh,
what
me
it
too.
is.
Yeah. Like just the weird physicsy stuff they would do. That's what reminded me the
Oh
most.
yeah, like the way the face would morph and stuff. That reminds me of the slime boss in Yoshi's Island.
Yeah,
Totally, yeah.
I see that.
Or like the first boss where he loses his pants and he gets so embarrassed that he dies.
We've
It's
all
like
been there.
The face,
Yeah.
the giant, the face boss that grows. I liked how at the end it takes up the whole screen. You're just like, but then you just press attack once and he dies.
God,
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island is so good. When's Yoshi's Island?
Ugh. I mean,
Yeah, oh.
Uh-oh.
What the heck, dude?
Joyless piece of shit.
Oh, don't even get me started.
Wow.
It's hard to
That's-
follow up Mario World.
Yeah, yeah. But we'll save that for the Yoshi's Island episode. But this, I don't know. It was also weird. So I had never played this game, and like I was saying, like I'd heard the name and stuff before, but it hit me as I first booted it up. I had seen this game before. I had seen a lot of this game before because I don't know, like I think Super, like Game Center CX, like with Areno,
Yeah.
like he plays this game. So I have
didn't
watched
see that episode.
Yeah, I have watched that episode, and if you don't know what Game Center CX is, it's where it's a Japanese show where an old
So good.
fucking guy, I'll put him up on the screen. He plays video games. He sucks at video games, but he's got a lot of heart, and he has a timeline to play these games in, and they're just like random fucking NES games or Super Nintendo games. And he's got to beat them within that time limit. And so I had watched the episode where he plays this game. So I was like, wait a
Arno's
minute.
a
okay.
legend. He's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
That's Chris, by the way.
That's what he looks like right now, currently.
He's got the
When he was
cooling
playing
pen.
this.
All right, well, I think
But
it's
my prior experience with this game was I booted it up and I ran around the town for 5 minutes and bashed a few enemies and turned it off.
like, this game's
Yeah.
always got a pipe.
Danny, do you recall that this game was like a game that Brian really liked? Or is that, am I wrong there?
I don't know for sure. I don't have like any memory of that, but that's not me saying like, oh no, he's never talked about this game.
Yeah. I need to check with him. I feel like that's the case.
Hmm.
I feel like we almost one day, like after playing Melee at his house like 10 years ago or 15 years ago at this point, almost played this 2-player because he was like, this game's cool. Didn't
So
happen.
Brian is a man of taste, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Game
I
owns.
believe it. Yeah, Twig.
I wanted to ask because I did remember there was a mini game I did like, although I don't know that it really is the same kind of mini game, but it was the maze one where it was like a first-person dungeon crawler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
I
was
thought
not
that
bad.
was fun. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
I never played that one.
Because couldn't you actually find gear in that?
Yeah, I think you could
Yeah,
get
yeah.
items in there.
You could. That's
Yeah.
a good point.
And it was cool.
And I've always liked those like old school style, Heroes of Might and Magic, whatever 7, that kind of
Dungeon
first person.
crawlers.
Yeah, so it's like that. So I did like one mini game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always like playing mazes in old video games. They're like, this is a really hard maze, and then you just do the thing where you just follow the wall, and you're like, I found everything. Get fucked.
It's settled then. We're gonna play Might and Magic 1 for a long game.
Okay.
Okay.
Oof.
We
Long
finally-
game? Is that
Yeah.
is that a thing? Long game?
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is a good time to say it. Right before we get to our closing thoughts, I am throwing the glove down. Before, like, when we get to our next Seriously Casual episode, after we finish my game, I want us to have our suggestion pick for Video Game Book Club long game, where we pick a game that's outside the 10 hours. And it's like anywhere, I'd say, what do you guys want? Like 30 hour maybe? Like nothing over like 40 or anything
Well, how long do we have to beat it?
until the end of the year.
Well, then I think we could pick literally any game, right?
Well, I mean, I don't want to put like undue pressure. Like, who played this 80-hour JRPG? I want you guys to play Persona 3. Like, that's a lot. So I think maybe like a 30-hour-ish game.
All right. Okay. So how are we gonna do it though? Are we gonna come to a consensus, or are we
Yes,
gonna
we're each gonna have a
pick?
pick, and we're gonna vote on the pick. Like, who's like
Do
we're
we get
gonna have.
like a 2.5 minute time limit to stump for our game?
Yeah, and then we
Ooh,
debate
I'm
it
gonna
out.
make a PowerPoint.
Oh, those are gonna be more heated discussions.
Yeah.
Here's 5 reasons you want to play Final Fantasy Tactics.
You made me play this for 30
Oh
hours.
yeah,
I hate
Colin,
it.
let's freaking do it. Actually, that game is like a grillion hours long.
I don't know. I think. Anyway, sorry.
The way I play it, it is.
But yeah, I'm just gonna throw that out there now. Like, so yeah, we have plenty of time to deliberate, and then that gives us a good like kind of better part of 4 months to actually beat the game. Which is why, like, if we had longer than the 4 months, maybe like longer than like 30 hours would be okay. But we're also kind of shorter time frame for our long game. But I feel like that would be something fun to do.
I agree.
Sure.
But that's, yeah, I think it's a good time for closing thoughts. Anybody want to start us with closing Mystical Ninja thoughts?
You.
Me, like I said, like I don't know much. Oh, fuck that jump. I don't know what else there is to say for me. This was definitely, I had the most fun playing this, and that's saying something because I really enjoyed Shinobi and I really enjoyed
Croc.
Contra. Like they were both really fun, well put together, fast paced video games. Like they felt really good. But this game to me, surprisingly to everybody, was like the total package. Like I liked all the shit you could fuck off and do. I can't say enough about the art and the music though, because like look at this screen right now. Like look at the amount of detail. Like
Look at that roof.
yeah, look at that roof. But like the wall
Look at that
panels. Hey, look at those look at those rolling guys' knees. But the wall panels have like little art on them, flowers. There's foreground, there's background, there's background. Like just so much. And the music just it always hit. It always fit. And it was fun to play. I liked the RPG elements. It wasn't like obnoxiously hard, but it still had some challenge here and there. And like look how cool the spinning segment is. It really never missed for me. That's why I'd say it's my favorite game of what we played.
Okay, and do you want to give it a score?
8.75.
8.75. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, like I
Nice
said,
summary.
it never
I thought you were
missed.
going to say 9.
Nine is up there in my Persona 4s and my Ocarina of Times,
Fair.
my Resident Evil 4s.
Okay, well, I'll go next. To me, my fault, the things that I felt were less enjoyable about this game are things that I wouldn't say are poorly done or bad. I would just say they're things that I personally could do without. I have a ton of respect and admiration for the game and the design and the ambition. Like this game was super ambitious. Like it did a ton of things and it did them well. Whether or not I enjoyed it is beside the point. Like they were well done. That's just like I think like it's hard to argue that it's not well done. Whether or not you like it is beside the point. That's my opinion. But the art, like you said, is super detailed, super charming, like unique. Like if you see the game, like it's unique. Like you right away know, oh, it's Mystical Ninja. Like
Yeah.
it has its own style. The music, super good. Like just it's like this. Some of its parts, like so many little tiny things, came together very well to paint like a big picture that was very well done. If I had to give it a score, brace yourselves, I'd give it a 6.75. Just
That's a fair
because
score.
there were some parts that I just did not enjoy and could have totally done without. But the parts that I did enjoy, I enjoyed a lot. And I feel like if I played it again, I would probably like it more and I'd probably give it a better score. But based on the playthrough I did, I would give it a 6.75.
I'd like to go next because I think I feel sort of similar to you.
Okay, go ahead.
I regret that I wasn't able to finish it. I feel like I can't fairly judge it because I didn't finish it. I plan on finishing it. I will finish it out of shame, if anything. But I've forgotten what I was going to say. There is a lot to like about it. I think I was just maybe in the wrong headspace for a lot of this month playing it, and I didn't kind of came away from it disliking a lot of it. But I also, yeah, it's definitely charming, as everyone has said. And would I actually rather play Fazanadu? I don't know. We'll find out when I actually finish this game. Maybe I'll have some thoughts I can share later on a future episode. Just
I think your opinion's still super valid.
I
you didn't
do
finish
play
it.
like half of it.
Yeah,
I
it
think-
doesn't change very much if I'm being honest.
I think that you not finishing it is part of like
You're part of your opinion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
guess so. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
there were like anytime I started it up, I would get just very demotivated. So I guess there's that aspect of it. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's fair. I totally see that. That's fair.
You know what game kicks ass is Gradius. So it's pretty cool that Gradius is in here. There's
I
actually
like
a
that.
couple sessions where I turned it off and played Gradius 3 instead.
I respect that.
That's funny.
I'll give this game 2 massive engorged raccoon dog testicles.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a pretty good score.
That is
I
a good
think.
score.
You're giving Chris anxiety by describing it as good.
Well,
That's an
in-
objectively good
That's
score.
a score.
Balls.
I
I
don't-
don't know.
Isn't that like a sign of like something's wrong? Like if testicles are like oversized.
Well, if you're Tanuki, dude.
Yeah, if you're a Tanuki, it equates to your power.
That's
Okay.
That's baseline, bro.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
I will go next. So, I honestly looked at this game, and I thought I was not gonna have very much fun with it at all. But it actually felt to me like probably the most casual, friendly game we played so far. Contra was an exception because I had like a special connection to it. But oftentimes I get really frustrated with these games, and I found myself getting less so frustrated with this over like difficulty. I didn't even I didn't do any. I got infinite money, but I could have done that if I just sat there and played Mole. So
Yeah.
come on, I could have done that, and so I skipped that. But anyways, I think that there were a lot of parts of the game that demotivated me. I would get the town levels, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna put down the game for a day. But there were a lot of aspects like the music and the art and the wittiness of some sections and the boss fights that really bounced out the parts that I quite didn't like by having parts that I quite did like. So for me, it was like a positive experience, and I was super surprised by the game in a lot of different ways, mainly in the actual side-scrolling levels. I would say if I had to give it a number, I would probably give it. I don't think that it deserves a 6. I think it deserves a 7 out of 10 for me, because there were some parts about it that I think would prevent me from ever coming back to play it again. But as a first playthrough, there were a lot of parts where I was genuinely having a good time, and I was genuinely surprised, and it was a good experience overall, a decent experience overall. 7 out of 10.
Good summation. I like that.
I should really prepare
Colin,
this
would you like
before
to
I
go?
come in here.
Sure, yeah, I can go. Sorry, I was laughing at the cursed thing I just did in the games channel. So I'm gonna start out with a number. I think in this case, my subjective and objective opinions of the game both align in that it feels like an 8 to me, both in what it does on paper and how much I actually enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep this pretty short because I felt like I got a chance to say everything I wanted to say about this. As everybody said, it's very charming. The music is great. The presentation is wonderful. The gameplay is very responsive and snappy and really fun. Town is what it is. Yeah, I had a great time playing it. I think Darth had a great comment there about it being the most casual friendly. It's definitely the easiest game we've played, and sometimes that's nice. I also am a fan of busting my ass on really hard games for the challenge of it, like the Souls games like Super was talking about. But it's also fun to have games like this where it's just again, not saying it was super easy, but it was comfortable.
Yeah, we're just hey, I'm playing a video game. Fun.
I'm moving. I'm not struggling super hard. It was a really fun time. I had a great time playing this game, and that's it.
An 8. Okay.
Yeah.
I found. So I gave Contra 3 an 8.25 for reminder. I'm gonna go out and say that I'm gonna use the L word on this game. I love this game.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I don't usually say that. That's a scary word. This game like just got the juices flowing for like game development inspiration. I just loved how much variety was packed on every screen. How many ideas they had, and like just how, I wouldn't say dense the game is, but they really packed it full of content. And that's not objectively good, but as we've mentioned, it definitely screamed passion. And I wouldn't say it was put together perfectly. And I definitely recognize that it's like kind of conflicting design would be off-putting for some of you guys, and I think you kind of do have to recognize that for an objective score. But for like how I wouldn't say it's like crazy ambitious. There's a lot of ideas that are just similar to other games of the time. But the way it's all put together for like a first try at a game like this is really well done in my opinion. And it was just a very nice experience from start to finish for me. Really like the pacing, the ramp up. And it liked it so much that I want to check out the ones we didn't get in the US, and I also want to check out the N64 games.
Yeah.
Like
those-
I'm seriously considering putting one of those down as a next contender once we've gone through all our games.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give the game an 8.
Dang, an 8 on the Holden
it's-
scale. That's juicy.
It's not. I don't think it's better than Contra 3 objectively. That's the highest one I've rated so far, but this was the most enjoyable, most fun, most exciting. Couldn't recommend it to everyone I know, but I loved it.
Well, thank you. I like this one. Like we recognize the game has its game. Like it was on point in a lot of areas, and like it shows very clearly. And like it's still not gonna be no game is the perfect game. Like not everybody's gonna like every portion of every game. So I like that we came across a game where like it had our difference of opinion. It jived with some of us. It didn't jive with other people's wants and needs, but that's what we're here for. That's what video games are. Like they're a different experience for everybody.
Shinobi 3 is pretty close to perfect.
That's incorrect.
You know what else is pretty close to perfect? Every game that I suggested.
I can't wait to see what I'm already gonna start Soul Blazer. It doesn't matter.
That's not true, but we're at I think everybody's favorite portion. I think everybody that
Wheel
knows,
spin
or
time,
maybe-
spin time.
It's time
It's time to open a crate.
for the wheel. Yeah, we're gonna open a crate. I'm launching CS:GO right now. So yes, I have limited the picker wheel to just my 4 picks. So we have Soul Blazer,
Shit.
Alien Soldier, Final Fight 2, and Castlevania Dracula X.
I
Ooh,
don't know
I'm
what
really
any of
excited
these
for that
games
one.
are.
Really? Not even one?
Yeah, I actually literally don't.
Crazy.
So this is gonna be a spicy one for Darth.
I think it's gonna be Final Fight 2 because no one has mentioned that one.
What,
Wait, what did you say, Darth?
I don't know what any of these games are.
Oh, cool.
I've
You've
heard
never
of.
played Soul Blazer?
I've heard of it, but like
Yeah.
I've heard the name. I've never played it. I don't even know what it's about. Is it about like?
It's
I
about
don't know.
Blazing Souls.
buddy.
Blazing Souls. All right, blaze it.
It's like Blazing
Yeah, dude.
Saddles, but Souls.
Dude,
Alright,
I hope
here
it's
it comes.
Dracula
And
X,
I will
bro.
delay my reaction, so I will not spoil. So
Yeah, no spoilers.
it
Delay
is
the
all
reaction.
your guys' reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, here it comes.
Let's go!
I knew it.
I
I'm-
wanted this because I wanted to continue the Konami.
It was it 3 in a row now?
Yeah, we're at 3 in a row.
Crazy.
Back when Konami was good.
Yeah, pachinko machines.
So, tell me a little bit about this game. I literally have never heard of it.
It's a castle. It is a Castlevania-ass Castlevania game.
What system?
Super Nintendo.
It uses a lot of assets from Rondo of Blood, I believe. That's all I know about it.
Is it like older Castlevania, like,
Yes.
or is it more like Symphony of the Night kind of?
No,
It's
it's
older.
It's classic
Classic.
Castlevania style.
So
Okay.
this is going to be me breaking my usual thing where I only play series in order because I've only played Castlevania 1.
Anxiety, panic.
Anxiety, for sure.
Just after we finish it, just Men in Black yourself, and then forget you
Is
ever
this-
played it.
Is this one where is this Richter?
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
a spoiler.
Sphincter.
It is. I'm looking
Yes,
at the
this is
box art.
It's Richter. Yes.
All right, well,
This was one I've been meaning to play, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I'm not going to share my opinion of this game and why I put it on the list because technically, legally, that is banned right now because we know it is our pick for next month's Video Game Book Club, where we will reconvene and talk about Castlevania Dracula X. But for now, that has been Seriously Casual episode 5. We've done 5 of these. That's 5 months. That's crazy.
It's
Almost half a year.
incredible.
Always thrilled to be joined by you lovely gentlemen, Darth, Super, Holden, Colin, Chris. Like I said, I say it every time, but I always look forward to these Fridays or Saturdays, and it's like it sucks it got held up, but I'm glad everybody's feeling better and like we're all recovered. We're gonna be ready.
I remain
Absolutely.
thankful that everybody continues to make time for this.
Same.
absolutely, forever.
Forever.
Yes.
When is our next one? Because we are a week behind. Are we doing it on schedule or staggered?
2 weeks.
I'd say we can do it on schedule.
Yeah, it's
Because-
not terribly long, right?
This is a pretty short one. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm
cool with
fine.
that.
All
Sure.
right, Chris, you and me, we're beating it this weekend, okay?
I've already beaten it.
Oh,
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
He
Let me
beat
check
it
my
in the
schedule,
time.
though.
Oh,
I need to check
wow.
my schedule.
That's crazy, Chris. You should post that to speedrun.com.
Well, this just in, Chris has set the new world record for Castlevania Dracula X off screen.
Crazy.
But guys, always a good time. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to next time.
Yeah, next time. Reconvene, not in a month, but a little bit closer. But until next time, we'll catch everybody later.
Goodbye.
Catch you guys later.
Thanks, everybody. See us next month. Seriously Casual, Episode 6, Castlevania Dracula X. Until then.